Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day, good night, wherever you are in the country. Hello, hello, hello. This is Dr. Jacqueline King, and I'm with the beautiful Shay Kalu Prophet. Bishop is on assignment, so he won't be joining us this week, but we hope to see him next week. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Share. Let us know where you're coming from and share the broadcast. You know the routine. Uh, Post where you're coming from and let's get started. All right, hold on one second. How you doing, Shay?
I'm doing fabulous, actually. Wonderful. Thank you,
Oh,
Dr. King.
well, it's good to see your beautiful face again.
You too. You as well, Queen. You as well.
And we're getting some good weather.
I know. I know. I almost don't know what to do. I think it'll be 70 today.
That's
So
right. I know.
we're going
You
to
know,
spend
we're in
some
the
time outside.
Midwest. We're in the
Yes.
Midwest.
Yes.
Hello, Glinda from Fort Worth. Thank you so
Woo,
much.
Exodus.
Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. So today, as you know, we come on every week, and we talk about topics that we believe that will inspire, encourage, uplight, and educate, uplift, excuse me, and educate you. So today we're going to be talking about embracing innovation and thinking outside of the box. Pretty good topic, because a lot of us get stuck because we're afraid to think outside of the box.
Mhm.
We're our own worst enemies because we have good ideas, but we don't want to implement them because of whatever fear. So in a world full of routines, norms, and conventions, it's easy to get caught up in the familiar and comfortable. However, true innovation and progress often comes from those who dare to think outside of the box, to challenge the status quo and explore new possibilities. Today, we'll explore the importance of thinking outside the box and how it can lead to a breakthrough in various aspects of life. So, what do you think about that opening, Shay?
I think it's so important to capture the essence of what you're really saying. Thinking outside the box is absolutely going to be something that brings us outside of our comfort zone usually. It's usually something that might make us even feel a little uncomfortable. And so, we tend to resist this idea that, that we can do new things and we can accomplish new things and go places and do things that we haven't done before. But that's really the box that we put ourselves in, so to speak. And so when we get ready to get used, even really by God, when we're getting used by God, he kind of makes us figure that out in a way to help get us outside of what we think. It's outside of our normal thinking, it's outside of our world. And that can be, it can be challenging, but I definitely think it's such a great topic to look at and have a perspective on, because it can really get you ready to go to that next level when you start thinking that way.
Well, you said something, you hit on something that really is important, and that is getting out of your comfort zone. That is something that we struggle with as human beings, right?
Oh yeah,
Uh, you
definitely.
know, because you've been doing something one way all your life. You don't really want to change it. It's working. If it's not broke, don't fix it, and all so on and so forth. But that puts limits
Hmm.
and and boundaries on what you could do and who you could be, right?
Yes, absolutely. And that's such a great point with limits. When we're serving a limitless God. There's nothing that exists that he cannot do. I'll say that again. There's nothing that exists that he cannot do, right? And so it means that we put these limits, and we're putting limits on our God too at the same time. And so that's such a great point about coming back to the coming outside of our comfort zone is because there are so many great things that happen outside of the comfort zone. And the enemy is always kind of trying to push us back in the box. No, you don't belong there. You can't do that. All these messages that come across to us, and we tell ourselves these things because sometimes the enemy is working in that way. But really, we have to start realizing that when we hear those things, those are, when you compare it against what God says can happen and what has happened and all the things he can do. I mean, if you look at the story of Moses, right? And parting this, did he think, what kind of limit can you imagine being in that presence of God being able to really use you and you stepping forward? And so, when the Red Sea parted, it wasn't because of his strength or his might or his wisdom. It was really, the
Girl,
limit
don't tell that.
outside. Yeah, it was outside of his thinking. It was outside of his thinking. And we really have to step into that type of, position in our lives.
Absolutely. And he said, I just had this wand, this cane, whatever it was.
Yeah.
How am I going to make a difference? And so there are things that God has placed in you that you already have.
Mm-mm.
You
Say
don't
it.
even have to go and get it to use to get to where you need to be. But you have to embrace it and perfect it and utilize it. He does not give you a gift.
Mhm.
My one of my favorite quotes is, God doesn't give you a vision without provision.
Oh,
If he
thank you.
said it, he's going to provide the means, or he already has provided the means for it to come to fruition. And
Yes.
I'll use Black Women Empowered as an example. I do it all the time. When God gave me this vision, I mean, in a million years, I never thought that we would be here with millions of followers on just about every social platform there is. I didn't vision that. All I did was follow what he said, the assignment that he gave me to do. And he opened the doors. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't anything. People was like, how did you do that? And you know what I tell them? I said, it was God.
Yeah.
It really was. God gave me the vision and I stepped out on faith. And oh no, we got Canada in the house. Sherry, greetings from
Hey.
Nova Scotia, Canada. God bless you. Let's
God
see. All right, all right. Okay, so all right, Patricia, God bless you. And we have let's see what else do we have. I didn't see any more names. I think we already said Glenda. Well, go ahead and share the broadcast because we want everybody to get this message. Because this is a good topic. And so embracing creativity, thinking outside of the box starts with embracing creativity. The willingness to question assumptions, experiment with new ideas, and explore unconventional solutions. Creativity thrives in environments where diversity of thought is celebrated, where individuals feel empowered to express their unique perspectives and contribute their innovative insights. How about that?
Yeah, creativity I think is so key here because being able to really, you talked about God giving us gifts, but being able
Mhm.
to use each of our gifts the way that we really have been handed that, I think sometimes we potentially stop ourselves thinking that, like, is this something that I can do? And I think that, God's design for us who we are and who we were meant to be. Why is it that some people have the ability to, let's say, they're more artistic and maybe they can draw and they can do things better, and then some people are better at fixing things or using their hands and building, right? And
Mhm.
so those are talents. Those aren't just conditions that we just randomly stumbled upon in our life, right? Like if you are somebody who does a certain thing or has a talent, it wasn't just random. Okay, our God is not a random God. He's a God of purpose, and he's a God of order, and to make sure that he gives you that. So a lot of times God commands us to use our talents. Really, I mean, if you look at what the scripture tells us, we are definitely encouraged and to do that, and to use that creativity that we've been given. All right, and so that we can find a way, because there's usually there's so many different ways really to do certain things. And so, God undoubtedly created us to use that creativity. I mean,
Mhm.
um, in that way. So, yes.
Well, he didn't give it to it just for us to sit on it.
Hmm.
Um, that's not the reason why we have these gifts and talents. Actually, they are to be a blessing and to be a blessing to others and to build and do kingdom building. That's what we're doing here.
Hmm.
Whether you understand it or not, we are kingdom building. And we're providing God's children with opportunity. That's major. Something that you wouldn't ordinarily have access to. Opportunity. Good morning, Alexandria, my cousin. Please share the broadcast. And love you, honey. I'll be coming to New Jersey. You know that already on May the 9th. I hope you're going to come and see me if you can get there. Um, but breaking free of limiting beliefs. That's one of the biggest barriers to thinking outside of the box is the presence of limiting beliefs, those self-imposed constraints that dictate what is possible and what isn't, whether it's fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. These beliefs can hold us back from exploring new opportunities and realizing our full potential. Now that's a mouthful right there, isn't it, Shay?
It is. It is limiting beliefs. Where do we start with that? I think that there's really two extremes to this, and that is when I think about, where do some people go? It is the I can't do it. Um, part of your mindset where you're not, you haven't just really, faith is an action, right? So like it's an active thing. Faith isn't, you have faith and then you just hope that it happens. You actually have to do something. You actually have to, invest in that faith that you have, and no
Mhm.
matter what. And so I think a lot of times when we look at that, we're looking at, are we really actively doing something in that moment? And I think that that's where we can break free of that, that limiting belief of thinking that we might not make it, or thinking that we can't do it. A lot of times it just takes the action and the just investing in the actual, method of doing something. And even if it's just something small and moving forward, I think that that's really key. And then the other side of this is some people are scared to actually make it. This is a crazy concept. And I know
That's
I,
the truth.
I talk about this a lot because everyone's always talking about the FOMO, fear of missing out. I talk about FOME, the fear of making it, okay, a lot, because I think that we don't want to credit ourselves. We don't want to actually have that thought process that, well, what if something good does happen to me?
Hmm.
What if I actually do make it? What if I do actually progress in this way? What if God really, puts me in a position? What if this vision comes to pass? Right. And so a lot of times we are in people tend to be in those extremes and they don't even know it. So I think it's such a great, topic to talk about, the limiting beliefs, because those are really, we have to challenge ourselves. Am I in this? Am I actively, what am I doing? Because that will let if limiting beliefs are, really what's, holding you back as well.
And judgment. I'm a little different than the average. I know that. So hello, Sandra McCall. God bless you. Please share the broadcast. So for me, um, I know this might sound arrogant and it might sound, I don't know what it, I don't really care. And that's what my point is. I've never cared what people thought of me. I have honestly, I have never cared because what you think of me is just your opinion and it doesn't affect me one way or the other. If you can get that in your mind that it doesn't matter what people think, that people are going to, they judged Jesus, they talked about Jesus. I mean, who are you to think that you're not going to come against some judgment, some criticism, some lies and all of that? So if you let that hold you back, you're probably not going to do anything anyway. And then fear of the unknown. Well, that's what faith is. You don't know what's going to happen. Faith is believing that something good is going to come out of it
Mhm.
without knowing what it is. That's how BWE was built. I had no clue with the 200 women that we had in that group, which now has 200,000 women. Alexandria, my cousin, can tell you. I had no idea that we would be over 3 million. I didn't even set, that's not even what I set out to do. I didn't even set out to be a social media influencer. I really set out to have women actually first have a relationship with God, believe in themselves, and love and support one another. That was it. But God had much bigger plans. His plans are not our plans. His thoughts are not our thoughts. Am I right, Shay?
Yes, I just love hearing your story all the time. I really do. I'm always smiling whenever I hear it because it just gives me such joy. It gives me such joy to hear how God really he can do anything. I think a lot of times we're waiting for God to just or we're in a waiting place, right, in general. And so God can take you from the back to the front, from the bottom to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And it just happens that way. And a lot of what you're talking about, which is that activation of the faith, and which is what you did, is incredible. It's part of that process. And I'll tell you what, one thing that reminds me whenever I think of you, Dr. King, I think of vision. Okay, I think of vision, particularly because I think that it all starts with a vision. Having that outside of the box, kind of transition. You need to have a vision, right? So, one of the things that I admire is knowing that you have a vision, and that's really what drives kind of like this out of the box, movement that I think that you generated over time. It wasn't just a random, I'm waking up today. No, it was a vision. Like, I'm gonna take these. We have these core group of women, the 200 you started with, but our vision is to move forward into a space where we can continue empowering women, where we can continue empowering people who look like us, right? And creating these spaces and rooms and just opportunities, like you said, to move forward, and that God's going to meet us there. It's not that, Holy Spirit goes ahead, right? We're just going where the holy we're just following behind. We're actually trailing behind. A lot of times we don't know that. And so I really think that it's such a powerful message to talk about outside the box, because it absolutely starts a lot of times with such a big vision. And I admire that.
And I have a story. So, they say that public speaking, a lot of people would rather die. I know you've heard this than do public speaking, right? You've heard that.
I
I,
have.
I you might not believe it, but I was one of them.
Oh, wow.
I really was. And so my mentor um, told me that I needed to practice. I needed to do public speaking. And I was like, nope, not going to do it. He said, yes, you are. He said, yes, you are. Long story short, I did start it, and I was asked to do a speech in San Francisco. And it was on electric retailing via the internet. That's a deep subject, but that's my background. I worked at the electric and gas company for almost 27 years. And so I went to this conference, and I'm telling you, it was a lot of people there. Not talking about, it was like CEOs of electric companies, big time people. And I'm like, oh my God. And then on top of that, I found out that the president of the IT department just happened to be in San Francisco, and he was going to show up. Because, see, I could have bluffed my way through it, and then people wouldn't have knew nothing. But now I got somebody else that knows the system.
Mm.
I'm like, are you serious? The long story short, I got through it. I did well, but and I love it now. But I was definitely afraid of public speaking. I'm telling you, I would sweat from the time I was a child. I had to say a speech for Easter. It was called, this is how, at 5 years old, It was called My Dolly, My Doll Baby. And I remember going up to the front. I'll never forget this. And I was getting ready to say it, and nothing came out. And good morning, Lauren. God bless you. And so this lady, Sister Sarah Ruffin, looked at me and smiled, and I just broke out crying, and I just ran back to my seat. That was at 5 years old. How would I know about the fear of public speaking at 5 years old? But
Yes.
I couldn't do it. So, yeah, fear will stop you. Encouraging collaboration and diversity. Thinking outside of the box is not a solitary endeavor. It
Mm-hmm.
thrives on collaboration and diversity of thought. By bringing together individuals from diverse backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives, we can generate a rich tapestry of ideas and insights that can lead to groundbreaking innovations. I like that, don't you?
Yes, I do. Collaboration, there's no way you can really get to where you're going by yourself. And plus, the journey wasn't meant to be by yourself. That's not the way. God never created us to be in our own individual, kind of silos. We are supposed to be amongst people, and we're supposed to be amongst he sends us. I always talk about destiny helpers. He sends us those destiny helpers. He sends us people, and there's a message in that too, because it's really that collaboration, that unity, that totality that can really make a difference. We might say, oh, by myself I might not be able to do something, but really, yes, you're very much of a bigger part of the picture, especially when you can find and you can have a like-minded group of individuals. I especially since this is a platform for Christians. Being among the believers is incredible. Being among believers is incredible. There's so much wisdom in that. There's so much being able to guide yourself, especially with this topic being outside of the box. When you are in a community that wants to see you thrive, or you're within partnerships that are meant for you, right? We know those things that are meant for us. God sends us things that are meant for us, and those things really help us multiply, and really ex- uh, give us the experience we need to have on our way to where we're going, right? Because we're around the right people, we're collaborating, we're partnering, we're just creating this positive energy around movements and around messages too, that I think that have to be heard. And really, it's best when we are doing it with people who are like-minded like us too.
Absolutely. Veronica Outland from Maryland, D.C., Virginia area. Thank you for joining us. We have Lauren Woods and from Virgin Islands. Hello, over in the Virgin Islands, Regina Bunch. She says, good morning, sisters. I am blessed with this coming across my feed. Wow, God is so good. Yes, He is all the time. Marita McGee, greetings from Virginia. Thank you so much, ladies. Please share the broadcast. We can reach more people with you than we can without you. So if you'll just share it on your page, we would greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, really, collaboration is key. We do it all the time. Um, Gosh, I can't even tell you how many collaborations I've had and
Mhm.
still having. I have a call this afternoon with a possible collaboration. So yeah, that is really a good way to help you get over some of your fears, because what you are afraid of, someone else can bring to the table.
Mhm.
What you might not have, they may have. And
Mhm.
together, like you said, you can come up with something major. Um, I don't know if you all know the story of Facebook and about Zuckerberg. These were some college kids messing around. They came up. I know it. You've heard
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
They were just fooling around. What is this? A multi-billion-dollar, uh, you know, and I believe that Mark ended up with everything. But if he wasn't in it by himself, this was done with collaborations. It was
Mhm.
embracing failure as a stepping stone. Innovation rarely comes without its share of failures and setbacks. Instead of viewing failure as a roadblock, we should embrace it as a stepping stone on a path to success. Each failure brings valuable lessons and insights that can inform our future endeavors and ultimately lead us closer to our goals. I remember my my former pastor, who is my friend of mine, and actually he's the one I'll be collaborating with this evening. He wrote a book years ago. I never forget him when he preached his sermon. It was so powerful. It was "Don't hate your enemies, step on them," and use them as stepping stones to get to where you want to be. Same thing, same thing with failure. Use it as a stepping stone. And Dale, George, if you're interested in public speaking, you need to join the directory, and it's going across the screen. We do have a bunch of public speakers on there that have access to our over 3 million followers on a daily basis. So you need to do that. But yeah, you have to absolutely embrace failure
Mm-hmm.
and keep moving on in spite of it. I failed so many times. I think all of us have.
Mm-hmm.
We thought something was going to work out and it just didn't. But that doesn't mean you stop. That doesn't mean you get discouraged. You might be discouraged for a minute, which is a normal reaction, but don't linger on that discouragement. Don't let it stop you from going to the next idea, right?
Yeah, it's you said something about how you failed, and when we think about that, when we look at successful people, when we look at people who we think, hey, you know what, look how well they're doing, uh, look how amazing your platform is, and it's you talked about failure. I think that's such a key point to really bring out because it's okay. And a lot of times in that failure, I'll tell you what, because I've definitely failed. But and one of the things that I think I love about failure, even though we don't view it that way, is that experience helps me so much, to myself and to others. I think it's a way of being able to help others also through situations that they might be going through. And so when we look at failure, we shouldn't, kind of shun it and hide it. We should say, hey, you know what? I failed, but guess what? I'm still here. I still have a destiny. I still have a purpose. It's not who I am. Failure doesn't become who you are. It just becomes a part of what you've gone through. And most people will kind of embrace it and make it who they are versus knowing that you're just going to go through the failure. You're not going to become the failure. And when you can do it, do that, I think it really puts you in a position to empower yourself. So we've got to empower ourselves. We don't let failure take away the power that we have. We really have to say, okay, well, that's fine, but it's not the end. It's not the end of me. This isn't the end of Shay. This isn't the end of Dr. King, right? We know that. So we really have to have a lot of grounding in again, a lot of that vision, a lot of that purpose, and being able to constantly have kind of like this ecosystem, in my opinion, that you would have that keeps continuing to kind of help you thrive even through failures, I would say. Yeah.
I like that. Go through the failure and not become the failure.
Mhm.
Write that down. You guys need to type that on the screen because you need to get that in your head and keep it. Go through the failure, not become the failure. Go ahead and type that. I want everybody. Ursuline, how you doing, sweetie? Ursuline is a favorite fan, a fan favorite. She's on all the time.
Hi.
Go through the failure, not become the failure. Type that in the
Mhm.
box, if you will.
Mhm.
In the meantime, we're going to do a small commercial break, and we'll be back in just a moment. Uh-oh.
Have you always wanted to advertise your business but could not afford the prices available? If so, Black Women Empowered Business Directory may just be the answer to your prayers. They have reasonable prices, opportunities to share your events, videos, blogs, and more. You also get the opportunity to network with other business owners. How much, you ask? Well, the basic yearly cost is just $97. The enhanced yearly price is $175, and best of all, you can join for a lifetime for just $450. These prices will not last, so head on over to blackwomenempowereddirectory.com and sign up today.
All right. All of you all that want to join our community, you saw that. It's on the top, blackwomenempowereddirectory.com. It's going across the bottom. There's no excuse for not going over there and signing up. Those prices, I promise you, will not last. So that's a good opportunity for all of you. Like I said, people have been asking us how to connect with our community for years. And we've come up with a way to do that. And so, God is opening up doors. And when he opens up doors, opportunities don't always come back. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much, Alexandra, Veronica. They've typed on there, go through the failure, not become the failure. I love, 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 love that. Thank you so much. Examples of thinking outside of the box. From Elon Musk's ambitious ventures in space exploration to Melania, and I can't say her last name, courageous advocacy for girls' education, there are countless examples of individuals who have dared to think outside the box and change the world. By challenging conventional wisdom and pushing the boundaries of what is possible, these trailblazers, including Maya Angelou, Michelle Obama with the healthy eating, I'm trying to think of others. There's so many that have actually done that. Melinda Williams, who actually is in our directory. I don't know if you saw that. Melinda Williams, the actress from Daddy's Little Girls, and she also was in Soul Food, the series on BET. She's in the directory. She's doing something now with young Black women and college students. I'll be interviewing her soon. But these are people who thought outside of the box to make the world a better place. There's so much that you can do if you go through the failure and not become the failure. Think outside of the box. Don't let fear and others hold you back from moving forward. There's so many things. You have to do it. Dream big, and pursue your passion. And so in a world that's constantly evolving, thinking outside the box is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. By embracing creativity, breaking free from limiting beliefs, cultivating a growth mindset, encouraging collaboration and diversity, and embracing failure as a stepping stone, we can unlock our full potential and create a brighter future for ourselves and generations to come. So let's dare to think outside of the box, challenge the status quo, and unleash our creativity to shape a world that is limited only by our imagination. Let's innovate, let's create, and let's change the world. You have what it takes to do it. God has already given you what you need to do it. But now you'll just have to do it. Right, Shay?
That's right. It takes some action, Jackson. You gotta move. You gotta keep moving. And one thing that struck me, especially with your statement, your last statements, is that have you ever heard anybody say that's the way we always do it? You ever heard anybody say that?
Yeah, it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, that's the way we always been doing it. And I think that statement, can be challenged. I think that anybody. I always love the curiosity when I hear somebody saying, well, why do you guys do it this way? Why do you guys do it that way? Because there has to be some sort of, reason why it's like this. And if it's just, we just have always done it this way, now we have a chance to think outside the box. Right now we have a chance to say, well, have we ever thought of doing it this way? Have you ever thought of that? And so I would take this and challenge everybody to say, when you say, well, that's the way I've always done it. That's the way I've always done this, is to say, well, why? Challenge yourself to think outside of the box. Challenge yourself to go a little bit deeper into, what's really happening. Why do I do things this way? Why is it being done this way? Because I think you're going to find some really golden opportunities in your own life to take yourself outside of the box. And that could really expose yourself to some of the things that I think that the Lord has for you, some of the opportunities that you might be missing. And going back to this directory, maybe you've never done a directory before, and you might say, well, I've never done that. I've always done it this way. Here we go once again. Just immediately, and I'll give a testimony of my own. Within the first few days of joining the directory myself, I had already had, a leads coming to me. And so that's really important to, understand that there are people who need my services, and that there'll be people who want to connect, collaborate, and could need your products or services too. But we don't do, when we do things, we do it the same way. We kind of get used to it. And so, we've got to break free. We've got to really challenge ourselves in those areas and ask ourselves, you've always done it this way, but is there another way? Is there more ways we can do it? Are there different ways to get to where you're going? And a lot of times we'll find that the answer is yes.
I love that. That means a lot. So when we started, somebody says, you always say when I started Black Women in Power, and I said we because we are a family. And I didn't get here by myself. Mm-hmm. I had people that work with me, ministered on our platform, did workshops and programs. But when I started it, we started on Blog Talk Radio. Does anybody remember Blog Talk Radio? We were on Blog Talk Radio doing broadcasts for 5 years. We did our prayer line. You call in, how you call in and you listen on the prayer line. That's how we started. We went to Periscope. Remember Periscope? Periscope is no longer. We did prayer line on Periscope. And then there's Facebook Live. And now we're doing it on simultaneously on 8 platforms simultaneously. That's because I didn't let technology hold me back. Oh, I don't like social media. Social media is bad. There's bad and good in everything. It's what you make it. We use it as positivity, encouragement, reinforcement of who you are, giving back, events, prayer, all of that. That's a good thing. We're not on there, for, just because. We have a goal, we have a mission. And the same thing with the directory, because there's a lot of you young women who have your own businesses. Mm-hmm. And, advertising, Shay is the guru. Advertising is so expensive. I've done it too. Mm-hmm. I remember back in the day, I got a 30-second commercial for $200. I'm talking about this years ago.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is now. $200 for $97 a year. You can get listed in one category. Mm-hmm. $175, you can get listed in 5 categories on our directory. And lifetime means you don't ever have to pay again. I promise you the price is not going to stay like that. $450. Do the math. Split it up by 12 months and tell me what you come up with. Go ahead. Do that.
I'll do it for you. Let me do it right now.
You're going to do it. But you don't ever have to pay again. And you can get in 10 categories. Post your blogs, your videos, your events. If you're a recruiter, you can post your jobs. It's so robust. I get in there and it blows my mind. It really does. On how creative it is and how much opportunity lies in just those. What was that amount?
Yes, ma'am. It's $37.50 in a month.
A month.
Mm-hmm.
$450. You're paying $37.50 a month. You can't do $450. Some of us pay $450 for a hairdo. You're talking about weaves and all that stuff they do. $450, please. Don't tell me y'all don't. By the time you get your hair and your nails and your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Don't go get a body massage, okay? And I'm not saying don't do those things because I love them. I think it's the best thing to pamper yourself, but you have to be willing to invest in yourself too. Nobody else is going to do it, and nobody's coming to save you. You have to save yourself. And then on top of that, you get to collaborate with all these other people. Dr. Matthew Knowles is in there. Kathleen Trigg Jones is in there. Dr. Yomi Garnett, who was a ghostwriter. He writes grants. If you haven't taken a look at it, you need to see. We've got some powerful people. Melinda Williams. Shay is in there. I'm in there. There are some great opportunities to connect, and you can put your zip code in, and everybody that's in your area will come up. So we're excited about it. We're excited about the opportunity. We're excited that God has given this platform for us to So yeah, go ahead and pull the directory up and give them a look at what all you can do, because since we're talking about it, because we are still talking about thinking outside of the box. This is an outside of the box endeavor. It really is, because I don't know anybody else that's done it like this. Do you, Shay?
No, and it's in the magnitude. I really have to say this: the magnitude of the reach of this directory is unbelievable. And so I think let me stop this screen share. I'm going to share here. I mean, because one of the things, and speaking from the marketing side that that I come from, is that we have this thing called search engine optimization. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called SEO.
SEO. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just explaining it. Hopefully, if you're new to the world of such things, this is an opportunity for you to be listed and to be kind of, again, promoted in a way that if somebody comes in, they say, hey, they're looking for somebody who, designs t-shirts, right? Or something like that. It gives you a chance to come into this directory and start. And here we go. Let's just go ahead and start walking through this. But it gives you a chance to come into the directory, list yourself. And remember, Google is the platform that really, drives a lot of the organic traffic. So when somebody Googles something, we are going to be, putting things in here that are searchable by Google and that are going to be optimized, so that the words come up and so that your businesses come up. This is huge. This is like free advertising in that way. Yes, you've paid to be in the directory, but such things like SEO are done. Really, you have to pay for that, right? You have to pay on an ongoing monthly basis for someone to do that for you. So to be part of our already large, platform, and that we're going to go ahead and optimize that on the internet so that the directory and our, and the people in the directory come up. That's huge, and I wanted to bring that point up because I think people minimize how powerful being a part of a platform really is. People come in, they search you, they can find you. And to me, being one of the first people in anything is always going to be the best. Have you ever come to a party and there's food there and, it's been like, hours. It was not the same as when you first got there, right? Right. When you first get there, everything is, kind of, you've got a lot of opportunity to just, it's just a different atmosphere than later. Right. And not that you wouldn't want to come in later, but we want to, the movement is happening now and you don't want to get left behind, so to speak. Right. You don't want to show up late to the party, so to speak. All right. And
click on events.
Okay.
At the top. So the good thing about it is when you're in the directory, when you post your events, and that's our cruise. If you haven't signed up for our cruise 2025, we have a cruise coming up, but all the events will come up on this page. They don't even have to specifically go to your page to know what your event is. And then when they come here, they can click on the event itself and it will direct them right to your page. They can send you an email and ask, actually most everybody that uses the events, they already have a link to sign up. You can click on the link and register for their events.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a game changer. Events. Go to the videos. So you got to go down. It's down. It's down in the middle of the page where it says no. You got to go back.
Sorry, home. Yes. There we go.
And so yeah, there's this is very robust. Is that the video? Yeah. So look, everybody that has a video comes up on the main page. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put new stuff since I've been on here. I
Yeah.
haven't seen these. Look at that. Yep, there's my previous interview with Melinda Williams. She's coming back. Yeah, so we've got that's Bishop Paul Morton. I had an opportunity to interview him. But yeah, there's so much that you can do in here. So we don't want you to miss your blessing by not signing up. It's a simple process. You can use your PayPal. If you don't have PayPal, you can use your credit card. But we definitely want you in there, connecting and maximizing your possibilities as far as there it is. Click on that one. Who's that young lady?
Yeah, this is just scrolling through the members.
On your profile.
Yes. So I think this is my profile here.
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So So you can get, if you need some marketing. Okay. Well, Sherry, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Go ahead and check the directory out. Yeah, she's got, and you can write your blog. If you're a blogger, you can write your blogs. I think Jay's got her little quotes up in there. Our reviews, those are customer reviews, right?
Yes, they are.
Really nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Nice. And you can leave a custom review on our page. If you see somebody, look at that's my blog I just did on celebrating
this
Black
is nice.
History. Yep. So if you click on it, it gives a whole blog on celebrating history. Yep.
And the blogs are great, guys. Blogs are what shows up when somebody's looking for a topic. Again, this is the SEO stuff that we're talking about. You put all your stuff in here, your videos and your blogs, all the things that you can do in here. It's really wonderful because it all shows up on the internet, as they call it, the internet.
Internet and
show up.
Hello, Jessica. So look, we really want you to get in here. We want you to get in here, and that's about our time. We're going to close out with the commercial, but we do thank everyone for coming on. We want you to share. Can you put the commercial back up there?
Yep, absolutely.
And share the broadcast. Greetings from London. Hello, Jessica Panesh, and thank you so much. I have a good friend that's in the UK. That we talk on the phone, and we talk on through chat, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Every day. But thank you so much, Dale. Appreciate you. Guys, go over and check out the directory, sign up, because like I said, we have over 3 million followers. These prices are not, we just launched actually, and we're doing very well, but these prices will not stay the same. They won't. I promise you that. Thank you so much, Jessica. She says, hey, pretty ladies. Thank you so much for saying that. We enjoy this. We do this every week. Come back. Okay. All right. Dr. Chardeline from North Carolina. I'm from North Carolina. I was born in North Carolina. I lived in Greensboro for 16 years, and my family's still there. So welcome, North Carolina. All right. We're going to close out. As always, I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Check out the directory. Join today. And here we go. We're gonna close out with the commercial. I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got it going here. Let's see.
We think we're frozen.
I think we might be frozen.
So anyway.
Oh gosh.
Technology, you got to love it.
Gotta love it.
Gotta love it. But that's okay.
All right.
Start earlier and go and join. It's blackwomenempowereddirectory.com.
Yes.
And we'll see you back here next week. Enjoy your week. Have a wonderful weekend. And we speak blessings upon you and your family. God bless.
Amen. Amen. Amen.